Hello everyone, this is Sharan here from 24/7 Techie, and this is the Let's Discuss. And I actually have a very good topic today. A lot of people have been asking about that, and that is the import duty, the customs that you have to pay, how to import phones from China to India. Because a lot of phones only release in China, come to India in about 3 to 6 months, depending on the company. And I have been importing phones for a long time. I have imported more than 5 phones so far, so we'll definitely talk about that, how to import phones and how much customs I have paid. So first we'll talk about sites that I import phone from. So the first phone that I imported was from Mary Mobiles, and the experience was pretty decent. They delivered it in less than 6-7 days of or after ordering. So it after ordering, it takes about 2 days or 3 days for the seller to ship, and about 3 days for the DHL to deliver it to my place, and for FedEx about 5 days. That's the maximum delivery time that I have seen. And if you talk about my second mobile, all the rest 4 mobiles, 3 or 4 mobiles, I've imported from MyBuyGoYou, and it has been a much better experience. So the first mobile that I imported was Redmi Note 2, and it was a 12,000 rupees phone. I paid around 14,000 rupees to the company. I didn't have any, it was not a review unit, it was nothing. It was a direct phone. I bought it from the website, and it came, so no talk to the company. And it costed me around 14,000 rupees plus 2,800 customs on a 12,000 rupees phone. So it ended up to be over 16,000 rupees phone for me, and that was a little bit expensive, but that was my first experience, so didn't really had a lot of knowledge about all that stuff. And second was my Redmi 3, the Xiaomi Redmi 3 without a fingerprint sensor. The first one, I only made a couple of videos regarding it. Redmi 3 Pro was released with a fingerprint sensor, so got rid of the Redmi 3. And on the Redmi 3, I did not pay any customs except for around 700 rupees. It all depends on the declaration what the company declares. So I had a talk with iBuyGoYou before ordering, and they first of all, before ordering, they offered me a little bit better price compared to the website, because I promised them that I will add the link in the description. So that allowed me to get a little bit of discount, first of all. And second of all, so they under declared the product. So they declared that product to be around $70, a $70 smartphone, and it ended up paying around 500 to 700 rupees of custom. That was absolutely nothing compared to what I've actually paid before that, and I was pretty happy with that. Shipping, you have to always pay. You will never get discount on shippings. And the third thing, I recently got the Xiaomi Redmi Pro and the ZUK Z2, and on both the phones, in total of custom that I paid was around 1,500 rupees, and that was pretty low. So the phones, so I'll tell you how the companies give me the pricing. So if the phone is priced 18,000 rupees in China, I'm converting directly from Chinese yuan to Indian rupees. So 18,000 rupees China, that would be, for example, ZUK Z2 is priced 18K in China. What they do is, not a lot of companies take PayPal or PayPal ordering. So because PayPal has charges a lot of money from the companies, so PayPal actually charges around $22 per transaction from the companies, not from us, from the companies. So I just recently had a talk with a couple of officials from a couple of websites, and they did confirm that PayPal take a good amount of money from them. So that's why not a lot of Chinese companies go for PayPal. Actually, AliExpress doesn't go for PayPal because they don't want to pay that high, and that's why they have their own checkout. But PayPal is more secure. That's why it is a little bit expensive. So they charge around $22, which is around 1,500 rupees. So if a mobile is 18,000 rupees, you add around 1,500 rupees. It is around 19,500, and the company tends to wants to earn around 1,500 rupees to 2,000 rupees. That is around 25 to $30 on the smartphone. They are selling. They want to maintain the website and a lot of stuff. Everyone is doing business, so everyone wants to earn. So they tend to earn around 1,500 to 2,000 per phone. So it comes around 22,000 for the ZUK Z2 plus shipping. That will be around $26, around 2,000 rupees. 1,500 to 2,000 rupees. That will make it to 23.5 plus customs when it comes to India. And the customs would be around 1,500 rupees if you have a direct talk with the seller to under disclose the product's price. So what under disclosed product price is, if the phone is worth around $300 for an example, they will disclose it as a $30 smartphone, and the customs will be like $30. Okay, we'll price it at $50 and charge around 500 rupees, 800 rupees or 1,000 rupees at a pretty recent thing. And that is the under disclosing. So just imagine if it's disclosed at $300, what will happen. So that is the thing that happens, and it ends up costing you around 24.5 or 25,000 rupees if you import it. So that's why a lot of people in India doesn't really want to import, especially the YouTubers that we are talking about. But on Xiaomi phones, as they're in very high demand, there's a little bit more premium on those phones compared to Z2 or LE-Eco's phones. So LE-Eco phones or Lenovo's or ZUK's phones, you will be paying around a premium of 1,500 to 2,000. But on Xiaomi phones, you can pay a premium of around 25 to 3,000 rupees, because the company knows actually where Xiaomi phones are selling, and no matter how they price it, they would sell. And this was the talk regarding the customs and everything, how we have paid. And a big question I get is the AliExpress and the shipping that you should select. So shipping you should select is always DHL or FedEx, either one of those. Because if you go for the free shipping, yes, you will be saving on a 1,000 or 2,000 rupees, but you will, in the long run, you will be paying it. First of all, the delivery will be very, very, very slow. It takes around 15-20 days to even arrive it in India. Then you have to personally deal with the customs. Compared to DHL and FedEx, what they will do is deal with the customs by themselves and come to your doorstep and hand you over a bill that they paid this much on your behalf, and that's done. You pay the DHL guy, you pay the delivery guy the same amount, and they are gone. But if you get it through the free shipping, then you have to personally dealt with the custom people, mails and all that stuff happened, and that is a pretty slow process compared to DHL and FedEx what they do. So that's why I have never considered the other free shipping. Just an example, I guess Dhananjay Bhosle, most of you guys would be knowing who he is. He imported the Redmi Note 2, and I guess he got it for the free shipping. It was also first or second time for him. He also tried it out, and it actually got stuck at the customs. It took almost 30 days to get it cleared, and he ended up paying around 6K because for 30 days customs even charged handling charges as they sort of added the rent of keeping the package over there for 30 days. So they added that cost as well, and he ended up paying around 6,000 rupees for a 10,000, 12,000 rupees phone. So that was very, very expensive. So that's why I never advise to go for free shipping. Yes, it looks to be free, and second of all, some people or most of the people doesn't really bother if it comes in 15 days, 20 days or 7 days. If they get a new phone, that's good enough for them. But I personally cannot wait, and I have to make up videos and all that stuff. But if I don't have to make the videos, I really have no patience for that. So that's why I never will tell you to go for the free shipping, because in the long run you will be ending up paying a little bit more. And the other thing is that AliExpress. So AliExpress has a completely different thing. So what AliExpress has, a lot of other sellers. You will if you type Redmi Note 4 or any device, you'll get hundreds of listings. But which one you should go for? because some of them end up keeping your money and use it for a couple of weeks, because AliExpress gives seller 3 weeks to ship the device, otherwise they will return the money. And that is pretty decent. But what usually happens is that you will be paying around like you pay $250, and if you pay through ICICI or any debit card, credit card, they usually charge 2 rupees to 3 rupees per dollar as conversion charges. So you will be paying over $250 conversion plus 500 rupees the bank charges. And that's the same. So they will have the phone, they will have your money, they will do whatever business they want to. If they send the phone, then it's good. If they don't send the phone, what they will do is take a refund. And what that happens in refund is that conversion charges again, bank charges you again, 500 rupees deducted, plus converted. If you gave money to them, you will be converted at $67 or whatever the rate is. I'm giving you an example, $67. But when it comes back, you will be charged at $66. So you will be losing about 750 rupees when it comes back, and 500 rupees when it goes there, and around 1250 rupees. I'm just giving you an example on $250. These are all estimates. So on $250, you could be ending up paying 1200 rupees and not getting anything after the refund, and you would be like, what the hell just happened? It has happened with me a couple of times, that's why I'm sharing. First of all. Second of all, from AliExpress, when you buy, do not go for free shipping. AliExpress says free shipping is one of the worst you can get. So second of all, do not go for a new seller. Yes, you might end up paying $5 to $10 extra for an old seller or a reputed seller who has sold that particular mobile 50 or 100 units or 1000 units even, and you will see the feedbacks. But you compare it to a new seller, you might be seeing that he's giving a $10 discount, but he has no feedback. Go for the person who has a lot of good feedbacks, who has a lot of good stars, and who has already sold a lot of phones, because a new seller would be doing the same thing that I talked about, and an old seller is worried about the 5-star ratings and the complaints against them, because AliExpress is very aggressive in banning those people. So if I complain against the person that it costed me this much and that stuff, AliExpress won't be paying me back, but it will be assuring that the seller is not able to do the business anymore with their side. So that is how AliExpress works. Always try to go with a reputed seller who has a lot of stars, because that actually sort of gives you an assurity that he will ship for his own ratings sake. I usually use AliExpress for the accessories point of view, be it back covers, tempered glass and whatnot. Anything in the accessories point of view, I've always used AliExpress. First of all, you get it at a very good price. Second of all, you can order a single thing and free shipping. It might take 20-25 days or 15 days sometimes and come. But when it's I've noticed that when it's under $25, $30, first there will be no customs. Second of all, yeah, it can come 15 days later on. I really don't mind in the accessories point of view. In the phones point of view, yes, I do mind it coming slow, but in the accessories point of view, I really don't mind. So I would really tell you, if you're going for accessories, check out AliExpress. If you're going for phones, check out iBuyGoYou. Gearbest, I really have no idea. I have not imported through them. A couple of my persons have imported. They have been pretty satisfied. Some have complained, some doesn't. Meri Mobiles, I didn't really have a complaint with the quality or anything, but there was a little bit complaint regarding I had to pay a lot of customs. But any other, I have not tried out Banggood ever. I have not tried out eBay.com. So I have tried out eBay.com for the US deliveries. I have a couple of cousins in US. I get it delivered to them, and then they get it to me, because after a couple of months they usually come. And I've tried out eBay Australia. I've stayed in Australia for a couple of years, so that has also been good. But eBay India, I'm not really very sure. And And so guys, this was sort of a big summary on how to import, what to import, and from which site you should import, and my summary, my history as well regarding the imports and everything. And I really hope it was helpful to you guys. And this is a new series that I have started in the Let's Discuss in the Car, and this is my second video regarding that. You should definitely check out the first video as well. And the second thing is that do tell me in the comments below if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you liked it, what you didn't like it, what I need to change and everything. It would be really appreciated if you could tell me. And I am about to reach my college as well, so time's up. Around 18 minutes. I have a friend sitting with me and he's almost going to break my head on using up about 20 minutes. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Please do subscribe guys. Like this video, share this video, and I really wish to see you in my next video. Till then, see ya.